Hello everybody, it's Hyper Mario 24. It's been a while since I've done a video like this, hasn't it? Well, I'm happy to say I'm very excited to be talking about this one, and it involves my favorite game of all time too, Wario Land Shake It. I've been playing this game for years now, and while I haven't touched it recently since WarioWare and Mario Party came out, along with some other games I'm planning to get in the future, I've just been too preoccupied focusing on new stuff as well as bills. But despite all that, Wario Land Shake It remains to be one of those games that I can always go back to and never get tired of. You could say it's kind of like my stress reliever whenever life gets me down or I happen to run into a dirtbag player in Elite Smash. It's just me, Wario, and the next treasure hunting adventure, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But in all those hours of playing Wario Land Shake It, there was always this one question I had about the game that I never really thought of diving into until now. What was up with the soundtrack? If you guys remember from my Wario Love Story video I did a while back, I claimed that Wario Land 4 was my first Wario Land game, and while the music wasn't anything that would get me off my feet and dance to, I still thought it was a nice soundtrack that really fit well with the atmosphere and style of the game, with its wacky worlds and unusual enemies. The Wario Land series always had this style of music that was a bit cartoony and anti-hero-ish that would always fit with the background and themes of the games, especially Wario himself. And some of the games would even throw in a type of music that you honestly wouldn't expect to hear in a Wario game. Like take Wario Land 3 and 4 for example. Like, these tracks just sound so peaceful and cheerful that you think with a character like Wario, he wouldn't have something like this, but he does, and they are honestly great to listen to too. Heck, the whole series has great music to listen to. I really recommend giving some a shot. And this is coming from a guy that still has not played any of these games yet. I'm sorry guys, I just have a lot on my plate. I will get to these games one day, I promise you. Heck, I may just be holding back on playing them for a special event in the future. Who knows? But like I said before, Wario Land 4 has a great soundtrack, but not many of its music really stuck into my head if I'm being honest. Like the music itself isn't forgettable or anything, but most of the tracks just tends to blend in with the environments in each level. Like in one level it's soothing and calm, like in Monsoon Jungle, and in another level the beat of the music is all over the place in Toxic Landfill. In fact, if there's one word I would use to describe Wario Land 4's soundtrack, it's random. You don't know what you're gonna get, but I have to stress again, the soundtrack is still a great listen. In fact, some of my favorite highlights are the title screen music, Palm Tree Paradise, Monsoon Jungle, Toy Block Tower, Crescent Moon Village, and that seems to be everyone's favorite music when they think about Wario Land 4 now that I think about it. The hurry up music, of course, the boss battle theme, and finally the ending credits theme, which most of it is just borrowed music from the stages I mentioned earlier, but I still love it regardless. So when moving from Wario Land 4 to Wario Land Shake It, I honestly wasn't expecting much out of the soundtrack. I mean, I knew it would still be a great listen, but not something I could really jam to, you know what I mean? Like, my absolute favorite type of music to listen to is ones that are energetic and make you want to move. I'm one of those type of people that not only loves to play video games during my spare time, but I also like to go outside and get exercise, whether it's going for walks, riding my bike, or sometimes just sitting out in the park and enjoying the day. These are one of my favorite things to do when I don't want to sit in the house or just need a little refresher to my brain. And listening to good music can really help me give me the energy I need to do things like that. And just for the record, I mostly listen to video game music in case some of you were wondering. So when booting up Wario Land Shake It for the first time, you get this calming, soothing music with ambient ocean waves playing in the background. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's pretty good, that's pretty nice. But then when you go to the file select, the music is suddenly gone. Alright, menu music is pretty nice though. I still enjoy listening to this while hypnotically watching Wario endlessly shaking his butt. I think I need help, guys. I also enjoy the Pirate Shop thing. It's a funky upbeat jam that always gets me excited to buy stuff, even when there's not much to buy to begin with. Now, I've stated many times before that I did spoil myself with Shake It's soundtrack before playing the game for the first time, but not all of it. I can only remember being spoiled by Mount Lava Lava and Just Plains, which when I heard these for the first time, I was like, holy shoot, these tracks are from a Wario game? Get out of here! I need to play this game for myself. And when playing the first world and level of the game, I wasn't too into the music at first because it was just the same music I heard in Smash 4, and I've heard that song so many gosh darn times, but I still enjoy it though, it's not a bad track. In fact, it's part of Wario's victory theme in Smash, believe it or not. But after I saw the first Smurfle and freed it from its cage, What? Excuse me? Why did the music become so bombastic all of a sudden? Because like I said before in my love story video, I went into Shake It expecting the soundtrack to be mostly Wario Land 4's, where it would sometimes throw you a curveball of what you'd expect to hear. So it blew my mind when I found out that not only was the music consistent throughout the whole game, it was also energetic, catchy, and just flat out unexpected for a character like Wario. Like, I'm serious, guys, the soundtrack makes me want to dance. There's a lot of funky, chill, upbeat, and some atmospheric music that are all a great listen. There's even one song in the game that reminds me of, dare I say, gospel music? Seriously though, why the sudden change of the music? Why suddenly go from odd, unusual music to hyperactive makes you want to dance music? Well, I did a little bit of research on Shake It's development story on this certain site and found some pretty interesting stuff, though not much on the music. The only bit of information I could find out about it was that the soundtrack was composed by, and I'm sorry if I pronounce his name wrong, Tomoya Tamada, and from what I've read, it seems that Shake It's soundtrack was mostly inspired by Wario Land 4 and the other games in the series. To which that I say, huh? Now don't get me wrong, every Wario Land game in the series has great music and there will be some beats that you'll bob your head to. But I honestly don't think they compare to just how energetic and upbeat Shake It's soundtrack is. So I honestly find it odd that that's where they got their inspiration from. But I think I have another answer as to why Shake It's soundtrack isn't like the past Wario games. There's one part of the interview where Tatanori Tsukawaka, the design director of the game, stated on what he thinks about Wario's character. After I'd played a bunch of the games in the series, I thought Wario was pretty manly. He's so uncool that he ends up being extremely cool. Depending on the game, he can be of course farting and doing stuff like that, but I didn't want to show that side of him. As much as possible, I wanted to show a macho Wario, one who was masculine and tough. I also like to quickly mention some other quotes about him that I really like. This one where Takahiro Harada, one of the producers of the game, states that Wario just tries to take what he wants. He isn't trying to do anything wrong. The results of his actions can either be bad or good. This one where Tsukawaka claims that Wario is macho and is the kind of guy you can enjoy drinks with. Tomita saying that his favorite song in the game is Mount Lava Lava and how they made it with Wario in mind. And that song is definitely my favorite. And this last one where Kentaro Sai, the guy who did the planning of the game, says that he wants everyone to see how cool Wario is and hopes even girls will think he is cool. To all the girls that watch my YouTube, drop a comment below if you love Wario as much as I do. I would love to hear from you. So yeah, with all those quotes in mind, it's safe to say that they really wanted to make Wario more likable and heroic this time around. And I guess they thought the only way of doing that was by making the soundtrack as hype and epic as they possibly could, and I think they succeeded. Like, you can't even compare the soundtrack to Mario games, because most Mario games, especially 2D ones, don't really have the type of music that's energetic and in your face, if you get what I mean. Like say New Super Mario Bros. U. The game is a good time, and it's got some music that you'll bop your head to on a couple of beats. But with Wario Land Shake It, the music is just like... I honestly wish more Mario games had music like this. Now, Super Mario Odyssey does kind of fix that issue with a soundtrack that would make you feel like you're on an adventure of a lifetime, but it's not a soundtrack that I go back and listen to when I'm doing other hobbies and stuff. This may be my Wario bias talking right now, but Shake It soundtrack, despite being 13 years old now, still has that certain amount of charm and energy to it that no matter what mood I'm in, I get so pumped up and excited when I hear one of my favorite songs from this game. And as I said before, this music makes me want to move and do all sorts of crazy shenanigans. Super Mario Odyssey, while still has a fantastic soundtrack, there's only a couple songs in the game that really get me off my feet. Jump Up Superstar is one of those songs, but I kind of find it a little annoying nowadays. The song is still great, don't get me wrong, but I've heard it about a million times on YouTube. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, especially with the Pauline Spirit, where it took me hours to get because of how insanely hard it is, and I have to hear the song so many flipping times because of it. And for some flipping reason, they thought it was a good idea to have Pauline sing this song every gosh darn time she uses a special in Mario Tennis and Mario Golf. Mario Tennis especially, mostly because I played that game the most online with doubles, and whenever there's a Pauline in the game, they would usually use their specials over and over again, especially if the match goes on for a long time, since there's no time limit online. It's like Pauline has to constantly remind us of how great this song is by repeatedly singing it over and over again. Like, we get it, Pauline, you have a great voice, you did really good in Odyssey, and Jump Up Superstar is a fantastic piece, but could you please sing something else every once in a while, please? But heading back to Shake It, there's just not a track on here that I find dull or annoying. In fact, I love every piece of music on here, even the ones that don't really sound energetic. Like, for some of these songs, you could tell the composers had a blast making this music. It's all great stuff, man. And now that I think about it, I think my two favorite songs in the game are Mount Lava Lava and Windbreak Bay. I stated many times that Mount Lava Lava has always been my number one favorite track, but I think I'm slowly veering towards Windbreak Bay because holy flip. I know I've been repeating myself this entire video, but Shake It soundtrack is just spectacular to listen to. The dev team really knew what they were trying to do with this game, and I hope for the next Wario game, they will work on the next one. I've been so fascinated with this soundtrack for so long that it still amazes me how a character like Wario can have music like this. It really showed me that there's more to Wario than meets the eye. This soundtrack is part of the reason I fell in love with him after all. And I forgot to mention the ending credits theme is another one of my favorites. That theme just always puts a smile on my face. It's so darn good. I really hope that the next Wario Land game will have a soundtrack similar to Shake It. And it turns out I'm not the only one. I made a little poll on my Twitter account about what type of music would you want the next Wario Land game to have. And while I don't have a big Twitter audience, I did get a decent amount of votes, and most of you would like the same thing. And I greatly appreciate those who voted. This soundtrack just had me going places on Wario's personality, like, who is he? What are his motives? Is he really a bad guy like most people claim him to be? And did I get my answer with this game? Kind of, but I still believe there is more to learn from Wario, and I'm really hoping for his next big adventure. We get to see another side of him that we haven't seen in a long time now. And I also really recommend, if you haven't yet, to try out Wario Land Shake It and give the music a listen as well. There definitely will be at least one song in this game that you'll like. And if you happen to don't like the soundtrack at all, hate to break it to you, but you have no soul. But before I end things, I just want to greatly apologize to you guys for the wait on this video. What started out to be a fun project turned into a stressful one, and I think I was pressuring myself to get this video out as fast as possible. I keep forgetting to have fun with my projects, and it caused me to have a little breakdown. My Discord audience will know what I'm talking about. So I'm sorry guys, and I also apologize that this isn't the kind of video you were expecting after waiting for so long. But hopefully next year, things will be a lot better. Speaking of next year, it's about time I finally talk about my love for Rosalina, as I still haven't worked on her video yet like I promised for this year. But next year for sure, her video will be coming out. But in her video, I will also be talking about why these two are my mascots, and why I ship them with each other. I kinda have to, it's one of the reasons I fell in love with her, but I'll go into more details when her video comes out. But that's enough for me. Thank you guys again for your patience on this one, and let me know what you think about Wario Land Shake It soundtrack. And if there's any other information I missed, let me know about it in the comments below. I would love to read them. But until next time guys, I hope you all have a fantastic Merry Christmas, and I hope to see you all as we move closer to the new year. So you guys stay safe, and as always, peace.